First tonight, the Clark County Fair wrapped up over the weekend, but after a large fight broke out Friday night, it ended a little sooner than expected. So Eli Bergen spoke to the Clark County Fairgrounds, says what the sheriff's office is also doing next. Eli?
Well, around 8:45 p.m. on July 26, about 75 people were involved in a large physical altercation, as you said, at the Clark County Fair. We were told the Sheriff's Department intervened in order to calm the situation, and those who instigated the conflict were taken into custody.
Everyone went home with 0 injuries, and that's what we trained for, and that's what we want. And so I'm sorry we lost an hour, but that's the way it goes.
Just over an hour before the 2024 Clark County Fair was scheduled to end, around 75 people began physically attacking each other in the middle of the fairgrounds. However, the Clark County Sheriff's Department and the Ohio State Patrol were able to quickly respond, and we now know that 4 juveniles were arrested for instigating the conflict. Coming up at 6:30 on Fox 45, a closer look as to how this fight happened and how law enforcement was able to respond in such an effective manner. Back to you.
Eli, thank you. Tonight we know that Fuyao Glass America says it is not at the center of last week's federal criminal investigation. In a statement, the company says it was told by authorities that a third-party employment company was being investigated. Agents with the Department of Homeland Security, FBI, IRS, they all carried out 28 federal search warrants Friday at the Fuyao plant in Moraine and 27 other locations in the Dayton area. A spokesperson with Fuyao says the company intends to fully cooperate with the investigation. The man indicted last week in April's quadruple deadly crash near the Dayton International Airport has been arrested in New Jersey. 26-year-old Clayton Hughes is in custody at the Somerset County Jail. He'll now be extradited back to the state. Back in April, investigators say Hughes' car rear-ended a car on I-70 and drove away. A few minutes later, he hit a van at the intersection of Terminal Road and Boeing Drive, killing 4 people inside. Troopers say that Hughes was speeding and under the influence of alcohol when the crash happened. The wife of one of the 4 victims now suing him for $10 million in a wrongful death lawsuit.
The Dayton Police Department is conducting an administrative review after this video was posted to social media. The video shows a K-9 officer hitting a K-9 at a scene last week. Today, the department released a statement saying the video does not capture the full context of the situation. DPD says in part, quote, "During the incident shown in the social media video, the K-9 officer used an open hand strike on his K-9 partner shortly after being bitten 3 times by the dog. We appreciate the public's concern, and the department will be conducting an administrative review to assess the incident circumstances and training to ensure the appropriate measures are taken."
The Ohio State Highway Patrol now investigating a crash on I-75 this morning that resulted in a car on its side. Now, it happened just before 8 near the Edwin C. Moses Boulevard exit. Luckily, nobody hurt out of this. 2 vehicles were towed. OSHP investigating the cause of that crash.
The city of Inglewood has announced the passing of one of their city council members. Councilwoman Adrienne Draper died at the age of 26. The councilwoman was the youngest female elected official in Montgomery County history, being elected at age 21. During her time on the council, she spearheaded several projects, including getting the city to record meetings. The city released a statement saying in part, quote, "Adrienne was always firm in her convictions and loved to debate. She enjoyed music and loved to cook. She always volunteered to help others. Her focus was on community. Adrienne will be greatly missed."
All right, let's give you a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam now. Some rain, maybe a little bit of storms later tonight, right, Natalie?
Yeah, tracking some storms as we head through the rest of this evening. We have some activity firing off just to our west, so we'll continue to monitor this as we do have a low wind potential for these storms to become strong to severe. So as of right now, we have storms approaching Wayne County in Indiana. Those will be making their way eastward. So over these next several hours or so, can't rule out a shower or a thunderstorm. But I'm watching some more activity off to our northwest that's starting to fire up back off into western Indiana. This could potentially form what we call a mesoscale convective complex, making its way into the area by later into the evening, and that could potentially bring some strong to severe storms into our region. Very low wind risk. I do think our greatest risk will be further to the southwest, but level 1 threat for severe storms for our region. Damaging wind gusts would be the main concern. Otherwise, it's very warm, a little sticky out there. We got 80s across the board. We'll drop to around 70 overnight with that chance for thunderstorms and clearing by morning. I'll time out the rest of the week coming up.
President Joe Biden hopes to leave a lasting impact long after his time in the White House is done with big Supreme Court proposals. As national correspondent Matt Galka tells us, the reforms face long odds to become a reality.
I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is critical to our democracy.
President Joe Biden vowed to make reforming the court one of his priorities as his time in office winds down. His formal proposals include term limits for the judges, a binding code of conduct for the high court, and a constitution.
$500 are qualifying for the sales tax exemption. This includes anything the kids may need for back to school, crayons, clothes, electronics, and there is no limit on the amount of the total purchase. The qualification is determined item by item. And if you have questions on what does and does not apply, you can go to the Ohio Department of Taxation website. There's a full list of answers to questions you may have. That is tax.ohio.gov.
The presidential campaign's turning to social media to sway voters. A look at their strategies and who they're trying to win over next.
And the Greene County Fair is underway as we speak, which you can expect if you plan to head out.
And I'm tracking thunderstorms as well as summer heat in the forecast too. That's coming up. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Sports Desk is sponsored.
Save big on MedMart scooters.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Dolly Parton's Dollywood theme park was hit by flash flooding on Sunday. More than 4 inches of rain turned several parking lots into lakes. A swarm of dragonflies invades a Rhode Island beach. According to the National Science Foundation, they don't usually bite humans, but they do eat lots of mosquitoes. And an incredible lenticular cloud forms over California's Mount Shasta.
Follow the National Weather Desk on Instagram.
With 99 days to go until Election Day, both the Trump and Harris campaigns are turning to social media platforms to try to get their messages across and try to reach young and undecided voters. Atra Elnashar takes a closer look at how their strategies are taking shape.
A new kind of retail politics is meeting voters and their devices where they are.
Hey everyone. I can't wait to see what questions you got for me today.
Candidates and their surrogates reaching bigger audiences than they would with an in-person event and at a fraction of the cost. The group Answer the Call 2024, supporting Vice President Harris, says its Zoom call last week aimed at white female voters had more than 200,000 participants who donated more than $11 million. And the live streams of the former president's son, Donald Trump Jr., on the alternative video sharing platform Rumble garner hundreds of thousands of views.
They know this is where a lot of their voters are, that you can get a message out incredibly quickly, incredibly directly.
In a May Ipsos poll, 15% of Americans pointed to social media as their main source of news. Both candidates posting TV news clips to get their message across.
There's this curated culture. It's literally your choice of who you choose to follow. And those are algorithmic in a way that just reinforces everything that you believe.
TikTok as a platform is unique because it's where a lot of young, first-time, perhaps undecided voters spend their time. And you can see both Trump and Harris trying to win them over, even if they're not talking about the issues, just trying to be likable.
All right, let's give you a beautiful live shot from Carillon Park as the sun starts to set a little bit. It's setting earlier and earlier, Natalie.
Yeah, those days now getting a little bit shorter, but it's a hot one. Still feeling summer-like out there. We have above normal temperatures expected through much of this week. We have what we call a ring of fire weather pattern set up. So we have this dome of hot air, heat warnings and advisories in place through parts of the central states. But what's going to be happening is around this dome of hot air, we have storms that are going to be firing up from the northwest, bringing active weather in the forecast for our region over these next several days. It's kind of what we have set up right now. We have a storm system just off to our west, so we will bring the potential for some showers and storms overnight. And then over these next several days, we're going to keep a pretty active weather pattern. So we'll monitor for a complex of storms entering the area late this evening and overnight. Low and severe risk, so we'll monitor that closely, but I do think our greatest risk will be further to the southwest. But once that heads out, I do think Tuesday will be pretty quiet, but I'll talk about more storm chances for the rest of the week coming up.
It's now been 23 years since a bride-to-be vanished just 3 weeks before her wedding day. And now, more than 2 decades later, we are investigating what happened to 28-year-old Nikki McCowan. She was last seen at a laundromat in Richmond, Indiana on July 22, 2001. 5 months later, Nikki's car was found in Dayton at an apartment complex. But to date, Nikki has never been found. And while police had 3 viable suspects, they still don't know what happened to her. This 5-part series, the most in-depth investigation into her disappearance. In episode 3, which is out today, police get their first big break in the case and new suspects enter the fold. If you want to listen to episode 3 or get caught up on the series, you can scan the QR code you see there, or you can just search for Missing Nikki McCowan in Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast platform you use. Make sure you subscribe to that series so you always know when a new episode drops.
A story from our partners at the Dayton Business Journal. The Silos, an incoming downtown food hall with plans to open later this summer, has announced its first of 4 vendors. Nude Bar, run by Chef Dane Ship, is the first to join the food hall. Nude Bar serves authentic Asian-inspired hot and cold noodles, bow buns, and dumplings. The Silos is expected to open later this year. We have all the details right now on Dayton247now.com. You can find this story plus others like it under the Dayton Business Journal heading under the News tab.
The Greene County Fair has officially kicked off. Alex King tells us all about the entertainment, food, and fun for all ages.
It
is Greene County Fair Week, and there's so much fun you can have there in Xenia. So if you're looking for information about the Greene County Fair, of course, you can head to greenecountyfairgrounds.com. They've got information about the schedule, how to get there, anything you need to know. Rides pricing, it's going to be tickets are $2 each, and rides take 2 to 3 tickets each, and there's going to be 20 tickets that can be purchased for $30, or you can get an armband for $20, and family night armbands are $15. Now, if you're interested in heading out and maybe you might be curious about the schedule, all you got to do is click on Fair Schedule, and this is really cool because they have the layout for each day. So let's say that we're going to click Monday, that's going to be today, and it has the time and everything you need to know. There's going to be lots of fun, lots of food. Hopefully you can get out and enjoy it sometime this week. And Dayton 24/7 Now is going to be out there on Wednesday. Back to you guys.
And just like Alex mentioned, we'll be out at the Greene County Fair this Wednesday for Family Day, which is also Food Pantry Discount Day. That means you can get into the fair for just $4 when you bring a non-perishable food item. So come on, stop by the booth and see all of us. We'll be out there from 3 to 7 p.m. The fair runs through Sunday at the Greene County Fairgrounds in Xenia. And be sure to check the fair schedule on the greenecountyfairgrounds.com so you can catch your favorite events.
And I'll be out there giving my forecast live on Wednesday too, so hopefully you stop by to say hi. It's going to be overall hot, humid one, but pretty typical. I will say I've been out there the past few years, and every time it's always hot and humid. So that's going to be the trend. So tomorrow pretty quiet, most of the day dry, upper 80s. We do have a better chance for rain and storms Wednesday and Thursday. That being said, the majority of both of those days look like they're going to be dry too, with our temperatures in the lower 90s. We also have a low wind severe risk. So this is for tomorrow, mostly quiet, but tomorrow night we do have the potential for perhaps a few storms developing, but it does look like they have excluded most of the Miami Valley from a severe risk, and that does look like that would be the case, as I'm not anticipating too much on Tuesday. But heading into our Wednesday, we do have another risk for strong to severe storms, low wind risk, level 1 threat for severe storms with damage and wind gusts as the main concern. So just have a way to get weather alerts, and I'll be keeping you posted over these next several days.
If you're looking for a beautiful place to visit and take pictures while also raising money for a good cause, stick around because we will take you to Anchorage Farms Sunflower Field and how you can get involved.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
Home and Mercer.
tonight on ABC.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Well, if you're looking for a way to brighten up your Instagram profile and give back to those in need, all you have to do is head to Anchorage Farm this summer. Taze Joshi was at that farm in Clayton this morning, and here's a look at how they're supplying golden horizons and supporting local veterans.
I am surrounded by so many beautiful flowers today, beautiful sunflowers. And if you are like me and you enjoy just the beautiful warm feeling that you get from these amazing looking flowers, then you've got to listen up right now, because this is a relatively new sunflower field to the Miami Valley. It's here at Anchorage Farms in the Clayton area, and you at home can be here. Now, the team here told me that the peak for the flowers here on their property was about a week ago, but there's still many, many, many beautiful flowers here, and they expect this to still be in good shape throughout this week. And if you want to visit, this is a great week to do it, because here in Clayton, Ohio, where this farm is, the team behind it, behind this sunflower field, they're not just doing it to make it so that you can see beautiful flowers. They're also doing a nonprofit angle here, because there is a suggested donation to anyone who comes here of $5 a person, and that's going to a local veterans group the team here has partnered with. You can learn more about exactly how that works and why they're doing it on their Facebook page. That would be Anchorage Farm on Facebook. The main thing you need to know is here in Clayton, you can come here, take lots of Instagram-worthy photos, and even buy some cut flowers, and all of that is happening here on this beautiful, beautiful property. Of course, that's going to be ideally happening throughout now to the end of this week. For now, my friends, we're going to send it back to you in the studio.
Well, heading out anywhere this week, just keep in mind it's going to be pretty hot, pretty humid. We have some storm chances. Now, tomorrow, not too bad. Feels like temperatures will be pretty close to our actual temperature. We'll have a little humidity, but it's not really until Wednesday, Thursday, we really start to feel the stickiness out there, and that will definitely correlate with those feels like temperatures, potentially feeling like low, mid-90s, maybe even close to the century mark on Wednesday. And as of right now, it's looking like Wednesday may be the hottest day. Now, keep in mind, this is just one model, but it does look like Thursday potentially could see some feels like temperatures closer to the century mark for us. So it's definitely going to be on the hot side. Here's a look at that extended forecast with on and off rain and storm chances heading through the end of this week.
All right, that does it for us. We're over on Fox Next. We hope you join us there. Good night.
Sponsored by the truck accident lawyers at Elkin